Hello! Mabuhay! This is Teacher Lourdes, and this is your course, Environmental Science. Our lesson 12 is Demography Principles Governing Human Populations. Our objectives are explain the concepts of population and demography, define the different demographical characteristics of a population and explain how they relate to each other. And watch the movie What Happened to Monday and submit a printed movie review discussing the vital points of the movie. Have you watched the movie What Happened to Monday, which was aired on 2017? It portrays a world where families are limited to one child due to overpopulation, and a set of identical septuplets, or seven babies, must avoid being put to a long sleep by the government. It's an awesome action movie which speaks of what might happen when the world has overpopulation. Let's now have the definition of population and demography. Definition of population. Population is a group of individuals of the same species living in the same geographic area at the same time. For example, the people who live in Jose Panganiban, Camarines Norte. A population is often defined by demographers according to the specific needs of the research and researcher. Three processes are relevant to demography. Demography is a study of human population dynamics. It came from the two Greek roots, demos, which means people, and graphy, which means the branch of knowledge regarding a particular science, in this case, human populations. Gillard then defined demography as the mathematical knowledge of populations, their general movements, and their physical, civil, intellectual, and moral state. He defined this in 1855. Let's now have the population principles and demography. Principle of population and demography includes biotic potential, exponential growth, environmental resistance, and carrying capacity. If you can recall, these topics have been partially discussed or fully discussed in Lesson 11 in Environmental Science of this course. What is biotic potential? This refers to the maximum rate at which a population could grow under ideal conditions, unlimited resources, no predators or diseases, and perfect environmental conditions. It's a theoretical maximum and rarely, if ever, observed in real world populations. Biotic potential simply means that population grow at an expounded rate and the maximum rate wherein they grow because there are ideal conditions and unlimited resources. These are the types of biotic factors. Producers, such as the plants, which can make their own food through photosynthesis in their leaves. The consumers, which cannot make their own food and just depend on other plants and animals for their food. And the decomposers, which include bacteria and fungi and other microorganisms which are vital in decomposing dead plants and animals. Now let's have exponential growth. When a population has abundant resources and few limitations, it can experience exponential growth. This means that the population increases at an accelerating rate often depicted graphically as a J curve. This type of growth is unsustainable in the long term because it eventually outstrips resource availability. As you can see in this graph, it is a J. It likes it is likened to a J curve because in time the population size of some species are growing exponentially. But this is not sustainable because resources can be depleted. Now let's have environmental resistance. This encompasses all the factors that limit population growth and prevent it from reaching its biotic potential. The factors are density dependent factors. These factors become more impactful as population density increases. The examples of density dependent factors are competition, predation, disease, and parasitism. Now let's have the density independent factors. These factors affect population size regardless of density. The examples are natural disasters, climate change, and human activities. Now let's discuss the carrying capacity. This is the maximum population size that a particular environment can sustainably support over time. It's determined by the availability of resources and the impact of environmental resistance. So, the carrying capacity is the maximum population that a particular environment can sustain. Now, let's have the human changing the carrying capacity. Humans have become one of the world's only global species that masters technology. Time and time again, the human species has overcome a factor such as availability of food or the presence of natural predators that limited our population. Looking at this graph, you can see that the population in color blue and red are growing despite other factors. And the organic carrying capacity in green line is in uh, maintaining its line, which means that it does not grow over time. And the organic plus species carrying capacity also grows along with the population. So now let's have the principles governing human population. The first one is the total fertility rate or the TFR. Total fertility rate is the average number of children a woman is expected to have in her lifetime. A high TFR contributes to rapid population growth, while a low TFR can lead to population decline or slow growth. This is a crucial indicator of future population size. Me, as a mother, I have three wonderful children. So, I only have a medium to low TFR because I did not produce many children. Total fertility rate or the TFR. Cultural norms. Societal expectations around family size, economic factors, the cost of raising children can deter larger families, access to education, higher education levels, particularly among women, often correlate with lower TFR, and healthcare access. Availability of family planning resources can help manage fertility rates. So these are the factors that affect the total fertility rate or the TFR. Now let's have the rate of natural increase or the RNI. The rate of natural increase is the difference between the number of live births and the number of deaths in a population over a specific period. It's expressed as a percentage. Factors influencing RNI include birth rate, the number of live births per 1,000 people, death rate, the number of deaths per 1,000 people, and health improvements. The advances in healthcare can lower the death rates and increase the RNI. Now let's have the migration patterns and growth rates. The movement of people into, which is called immigration, and out of a region, which is called emigration, significantly impacts population size and distribution. Migration patterns can be influenced by economic opportunities, political instability, environmental factors, or personal choices. These patterns can either increase or decrease the growth rate of a population. Now let's have the population age structures or the age pyramid. The number and proportion of people at each age in the population. As you can see in this diagram, 0 to 14 years is called the pre-reproductive, which means that this age, they are there are lower chances of giving birth. But however, in our society, there are teenagers who can be get pregnant nowadays. And the reproductive stage, wherein the ages include 15 to 44 years. I am 40 years old, so I belong in this age bracket. So these ages 15 to 44 years is the reproductive years of a woman and a man, and the post reproductive, which has 45 and older, they are no longer participating in the reproduction, but maybe some older people can also still participate in the reproductive process. So now let's have the demographics transitions. This refers to the historical shift in birth and death rates that occurs as societies develop economically and socially. Typically, societies move through stages: high birth and death rates, then declining death rates, followed by declining birth rates, eventually leading to low birth and death rates, and slow or zero population growth. These days, Japan has a problem regarding their population because there are more old people in Japan than young people. So they are encouraging tourists to stay in Japan to help grow their population. Environmental factors. Environmental conditions such as resource availability, food, land, and water, climate, and pollution significantly influence population size and distribution. Environmental degradation can limit the carrying capacity, impacting the population growth. So now let's have a case study: population growth in China. China has one child policy, which was implemented in 1979, which aimed to control the country's rapid population growth. While successful in achieving its initial goal, the policy also had significant and lasting impacts on China's demographics, leading to a series of challenges that the country continues to grapple with today. The case study in China had challenges and consequences, which was called One Child Policy. It has demographic shift, gender imbalance, and economic and social challenges. So now let's have the future world population trends. We have fertility rates, mortality rates, migration, and impact of climate change. cutting the global population growth. So, countries are investing in education, especially education for women, which is strongly correlated with lower fertility rates, and improving access to healthcare, including family planning services, promoting economic development, which can lead to lower fertility rates as societies become wealthier. In cutting global population growth, we also should address the environmental concerns. Sustainable resource management and mitigating climate change are essential for supporting larger populations and empowering women. Providing women with greater control over their reproductive health and economic opportunities is crucial. These days, women are also working. Not so long ago, men and women are not equal in the working force. But now, women also has the same opportunities with the men in the workforce. So our society has already changed and we also accept LGBTQ communities. The references of these are Scrape.com, Slideshare.net, and with the help of AI assistants, and which was prepared by the following my students, my very good students, Mr. Chavez, Miss Yvette Tavera, Miss Ayuman, Miss Castillo, Mr. Jomri Espinida, and Miss IC Chavez. Thank you, my dear students. For our student activity, you will watch the movie What Happened to Monday, which was aired in 2017. And you will create a movie review. You will search online on how to make a movie review. Print it in an A4 bond paper and submit it to me in 5 days. Okay? I hope you understand this. And I will send you the rubrics in the GC on how to make a movie review. Thank you for listening and keep reaching for your dreams for you can all reach your dreams. Just have faith in yourself. Thank you. This is Teacher Lourdes. Mabuhay.